Hello, folks, and welcome back to another awesome episode of the Crystal and Tommy podcast. Crystal, how are you doing there tonight?
I am all right, all things considered.
You know,
How
besides,
about you?
I have been doing okay. You know, kind of going a little stir crazy, but it's
hmm
trying to live a normal life, and just because of everything right now. And truly to say, what is next on the horizon for this whole
Oh
entire city?
Lord.
Yeah, it's there's millions of people apparently dying right now, and I sadly.
I don't think we're to millions yet. Hopefully we don't get there, but I don't think we're there yet. I don't know actually what the death toll is right now worldwide,
It's
but it hasn't hit a million, I don't believe.
it's
I will look it up. Worldwide, Jess. I don't want to minimize this by talking in English accent, so I won't. I was about to. I know that Florida apparently is number 2. I think it was New York City is number 1, and now Florida's number 2 state with the most
jeez.
cases. Um, see, it is so deaths is 46,153, which in all things considered, I mean, that is, I mean, I don't want to say it's nothing, because when people suffer at something, even if it happens once, but suffering is inevitable. And so statistically, that is a nothing number. Their concern is that April, apparently April is the highest likelihood for contagious. That's the biggest contagious period is April. So they feel like it's going to skyrocket real quick within that time, and then we're going to see like tripled numbers real quick. And they think like, within the next 2 months. God, it just absolutely kills me to think that it'll go on through May.
It is. It's
But
our economy is, and the thing with our economy, it is severely choking our economy. I've just never seen anything like this. No one has.
I think when this quarantine is over, I believe that people, like the citizens of the world and the citizens of the United States, we're gonna appreciate each other more.
Yes, we
I think we're
will.
gonna be nicer to people. I think we're gonna be nicer to each other, because people are experiencing some extreme cabin fever. They're experiencing loneliness. They're bored. It's, I think, we're all kind of suffering together. And I hope that at least brings people closer. I hope.
Well, the biggest, worstest thing that I can predict here, and I hate to predict something this negative, but I have a feeling that I'd like to see that, but I feel like it's going to divide us. This disease, I feel like people are going to be more negative to other people, but we need to look at the positive, and I appreciate you looking at the positive. But there is an upside, there is a downside to the upside.
We switched our roles. I'm usually the cynical one, and you're the stay positive one. Ha.
And one of what could be next possibly is this thing could possibly connect itself with one of our other viruses and become a super virus, and the symptoms could be much worse. Just look at the movie Outbreak. Look what
I don't know if does it really work that way though? Do viruses? I don't think viruses like breed and create super viruses. I don't think that's how it works.
It's a possibility. It could be the way that genetics and like things connect with each other. You see, because here in the species of humans and viruses, everything is a male and a female. So there's a way for it to cope and match with other viruses, possibly.
Now I know, like, I don't know if viruses, like fungi aren't male and female. I don't know if viruses have genders. They may be too small. because they're like germs. I don't know if they react, if they breed. I mean, I should know. I was a bio major, 13 years ago. I don't remember anything I learned, obviously. But I think that we can maybe find out. Let's see how they do this thing. Okay, molecular breeding. So they call it genetic recombination, and that is a major driving force for the evolution of many viruses. Genomes, replicable cycle, leading to new patterns of mutations and phenotypes. So essentially what you're saying is correct. They can, not all viruses, but many viruses do go through genetic recombinations, and they can and they evolve into different other types of viruses that then are, more potent.
Now imagine if Corona got matched up got somehow connected with the Ebola virus. Now that would be the biggest super virus if you ever think about it, because it would add a whole different perspective of people, coughing and also bleeding from their eyes and mouth. It's possibly like that,
That's an interesting thought. It's very science fiction-y, or maybe not fiction.
And possibly terrifying that, and right now we as people are just afraid of everything, but the thing is, folks, in this time right now, the best thing to do for us to do is to stay positive and know that the end is near, and that this thing will go away, and that we will rise once again as Americans and as human beings, and we will stay positive, and that that we will survive this. Like, we will.
Oh yeah, hopefully. Not everybody's going to.
It's a shame.
But
it's really a shame that the death toll is insane. I know it's not. Shout out to the $1.99 donation. Really do appreciate that. We appreciate you being a big fan. Thank you so much.
I was hearing today that. No, I was talking to somebody yesterday. So I've heard a lot of people say that they believe that it was manufactured, that the virus was manufactured like deliberately, like biowarfare, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, considering how many people really trust the government, in the world. I mean, and typically we doubt our leadership and what they're saying is really the truth. I know I do. I don't care who's saying it. So, but it seems, from what I've gathered, that it wasn't manufactured. It came from
a bat.
Either a bat or, oddly enough, a pangolin, which is sort of related to an armadillo.
You mean a penguin?
A pangolin. It is an endangered species that China has no business eating anyway. I swear. I love Japanese culture, but they need to slow their freaking roll when it comes to eating endangered animals. Come on. But anyway, a pangolin is sort of like our armadillo, except it's covered in these little scales, and it's this little mammal, and it either was a bat or one of those, and they were slaughtered. It was in like a slaughterhouse or like a meat market that's just on the side of the street, and the blood, I guess, got into somebody's body somehow, or somebody consumed undercooked meat of this animal, and then that's how it started.
Wow, it just seems like, but as much as we have contained viruses in the past, with different other deadly viruses that we do have now, you think that we could have maintained this virus, like we could have prevented it from getting to this outbreak right now.
Oh yeah, our leadership could have. They definitely had a delayed response. I don't know if it. I mean, it could just be something as sensible as they just were like, really, is it that big of a deal? Is it we're gonna panic again and then shut everything down and maybe it just took them. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fan of our president. I'm not a fan of the alternatives to our president either. But I definitely doubt our government in general's intentions to do the best for the citizens. I think they really want to do best for business. And I think it's a really bad idea to lift the quarantine by Easter. As much as, I mean, I hate it. I hate this quarantine as much as I think anybody can hate it. And so many things that I miss doing and that I've had to cancel and all this stuff it just sucks. But if the quarantine is lifted and everybody is under this impression that it's fine in the middle of the most contagious month, then all of this that we've been through will be for nothing.
Yeah.
It'll be for nothing. If we don't see it through to the end, it'll just be for nothing.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that you just have to pray for, and you have to make sure that you stay positive, and you have to keep your hands clean. Remember, folks, always, as Tommy NC 2010 says, and everybody else says, wash your hands. Use your hand sanitizer. Hashtag stay positive. Hashtag wash your hands also.
And don't touch your face, which I am really been cognizant lately of how often I touch my face.
Me too.
My God.
And lately, I've just been using the coat of my jacket to grab door handles now. If I don't have latex gloves on, I fiddle with my face a lot, and I'm always and I know.
Yeah, rub my nose or bat the corners of my eyes to get mascara out, or just place my hand on my cheek if I'm thinking, or whatever. I mean, it's just a billion times. And I'm a nail biter. I've been a nail biter since I was 5.
Yeah.
So I'm like, God, oh, jeez. Bad time to be a nail biter.
Yes, really bad time to be a nail biter. And, right now is the best time. And I'll say this again. Don't let the media scare you, folks. Don't let the media send you into a frenzy, okay? Just stay positive, keep your hands clean, and stay healthy. That's the best thing I can do. And get lots of drugs. I mean, not the illegal drugs. I mean, the drugs that they sell over the counter, like throat spray. I even got me some throat spray also, myself.
Well, that won't do anything to prevent it. That's just for a sore throat. Unless it's got vitamin C in it. Unless it boosts your immunity.
Yeah, I took some vitamin C yesterday, and it's doing pretty well for me.
I think larger doses, I think it's 3,000 micrograms of vitamin D3 is good for the immune system too. Which I haven't really been keeping up on that, but I also haven't really been around anybody. So I don't know. I mean, nobody I know has felt bad. Nobody. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's really hard to know what kind of vitamins you can take and what's going to keep you healthy. And the thing is just to keep your head on a swivel and to stay positive and that stay home as much as possible. If you have to work, go to work with a mask on your face, latex gloves if you can. If you go to the grocery store, be as safe as possible. Keep at least 6 inches away from people. Am I right? 6 inches?
6 feet.
6 feet. Oh my God. I'm an idiot. I just hit that thunk was me hitting my head against the mic.
It's okay. I have those moments quite a lot. Yeah, the 6 feet distancing can be can be tough, especially if you do go to a store and there's people there. I haven't seen anybody at any store really wearing gloves and masks. Like I went to Lowe's the other day, and some people did, but most people don't have gloves or masks.
I've seen at Ingles, like, severely here in Black Mountain, like, people wearing masks, wearing gloves, and just, like, it's not a bother to anybody. No one thinks anybody's weird. And because of this outbreak and everything, people are just severely just putting themselves, patching themselves up. And, I'm trying not to run dry on this topic. I don't want to overburst this topic. But I have a question for you, Crystal. There's a lot of people in our chat. Would you care if I invited somebody here on the show to have them call in here and have them read the chat out to us?
Yeah, sure.
Dani MT, if you are listening to me right now, please call me up on Skype. We would love to have you call in and read out the chat to us. But and we will connect you into the call if you can do that right now. But
all right, Dani boy.
Hopefully he heard me, and let me just say,
oh, Dani boy, the line is open. Please read our chat on our little Wednesday night podcast.
Now just saying, okay. Let's hope maybe he will call me soon. He just said okay. He's a chill dude. Dani is he's a really cool guy. He's got it all together. He's a professional MMA fighter, Crystal.
Oh wow, cool.
Like, he is the guy. He sent me pictures of himself. I've never met him in person, but he is a monster. Like, he's I hate to sell him short, but he's got a teddy bear personality, but he is built like a freaking tank. Like,
I've noticed most of the big guys are nice guys. Like, the biggest guys I've ever met were really nice guys. The kind of guys you'd like to have on your side, for sure.
Not Dani. I know what.
What's that?
This other dude's trying to call me, but it's not. Let me see who this is. Hello?
Hey, what's up, Tommy? My neighbor.
Oh, my God. Oh, jeez. Sorry about that, folks. That was just some idiot calling me to be a stupid troll. I'm hoping Dani will call up soon. I'm sorry. Huh?
I said, let's hope he will.
Let's hope he will also. How was your day today, Crystal? While we wait for Dani.
It was actually quite good. I got to work. Evan came with me. It was kind of nice. Most of the time when I go to work, I get to be by myself, so I can watch whatever I want to watch or listen to whatever I want to listen to, which was cool. It's always nice. Perk. And then when I got home, discovered that the stupid AT&T tower is down where I live.
Jeez.
And for the second time this year. For the second time since July of last year. So less than a year. Second time this has happened. And so now if it's not fixed tonight sometime, which last time it happened, they were pretty speedy about it. So they're pretty dang speedy about it. So I actually had to drive down the road to get a signal just to talk to you.
Wow. How far did you
go? Not far, actually. That's what's so frustrating about it is it's like super close. Super close. It's like almost, but not quite. So I didn't have to go far. But we live kind of like, a little bit in the boonies. Not terrible, but a little, and it's been a problem now. This for the second time. So I hate to admit that I have this like kind of dread of not being able to like use my phone or the internet tonight. Not gonna know what to do with myself.
I know it's aggravation. It's aggravation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I go nuts.
I mean, I can't talk on the phone. I can't do anything. I mean, not only can I not use the internet, I can't do anything with my phone. Nothing.
Hopefully. Oh, so here's Dani.
Aha.
Hey, Dani. What the? Are you kidding? Hey, Dani. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's going on in the chat, man?
I'll tell you right now, I just had to re-download Skype because I don't ever use it. So let me get back on.
Don't worry. So after these messages,
We'll be right
back. Don't worry, we're not laughing at you, Dani. We're just laughing at the pause. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, good, man. I ain't worried about it. So someone asked, what is the Tiger King like? I don't know if they're being serious or not. I refuse to watch that.
Well, we haven't got to that subject yet, but we will be getting onto that. But is there anything else of the topic that we're on right now?
Tiger King.
Well, I've been out of the chat for like 3 minutes doing that nonsense, so let me go scroll back through and see what y'all are doing.
I'm on the 3rd episode of that show. I haven't gotten too far into it.
Yeah, I
It's
finished.
very interesting so far. Very interesting.
Now, Dani, if you want to hop in anytime you want to, you are welcome to. Like, if people have questions or stuff like that, you're welcome to hop in anytime and throw us out a question. Because, you know, I know you mentioned that to me that people want to be more involved with this podcast. So if you want to head out, you're welcome to, Dani, or you're welcome to stay as much as you want. Let me know what you want to do.
All right, I appreciate that, bro.
Okay. Speaking about the what is it? The lion? No, the Tiger King. It is a story about a man by the name of Joe Maldonado, and he is a gentleman that is also quite southern, and also a little bit gay. Also, like I think all the way gay. I think, and he
Yeah, he is homosexual. Yes, indeed. So scandalous.
quite scandalous. But he runs a zoo. He runs a zoo that he basically is trying to take care of his tigers. And there is this woman that is trying to shut him down because she thinks that he is a bad guy. And technically, she's not the best person either because she's got some skeletons in her closet.
Yeah, they're both kind of crappy people. I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel bad for Joe. I mean, you know, I do feel bad for him. And it's like what he's doing is cool. At the same time, it's not. He's got way too many lions and tigers.
Yeah, I think he said. I
Way
think
too
he.
many.
I think what the number did he say how many he has in the part that you're watching?
Yeah, I think he said over 200.
Yeah, 200 lions and tigers at least. You know, and
That's too many. That's just too.
hey,
That's too
Dani, would
many
you
of
mind
any
muting
animal
yourself real
to-
quickly? Thanks, buddy.
I get you. If you have 215 cups, you have too many cups. Like, if I had 215 forks, that's too many forks. Like, that's too many of something to have, period.
It is. It's, and apparently, I guess what he, with him shipping off these cubs and stuff like that, apparently that's illegal to do that. And I didn't realize how illegal it was to give cubs to other zoos. Like, I thought that's what he was doing, was giving these cubs to other zoos so they could have lions and tigers and stuff like that at their facilities.
I'm only the 3rd episode in, and I don't recall. He was selling them to individuals who wanted to buy them for pets. Particularly wealthy people, because it's not cheap to buy a tiger, obviously. But I don't know. He probably did maybe sell some to some zoos. But in general, I don't like zoos. I don't like them at all. I used to when I was young. I thought going to the zoo was awesome. But as an adult, like if I go to the Greenville Zoo, it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely terrible how small these enclosures are and how bored these animals are. And you can just tell that they're absolutely miserable. And so like a conservation or like a habitat where they have a lot of space is cool. But eventually, if you don't reintroduce those animals into the wild somehow, you're kind of, like if you breed them in captivity, eventually you're just going to have too many in captivity. They have to be in the wild at some point or it's not going to work. So I think that's what he would have been really good for. Again, I'm only 3 episodes in, but that's what I would have suggested to him if I was an official that was, talking to him. I would be like, hey, if you got a litter of cubs here, we got to find a way to get these cubs into the wild. We got to, transition them somehow. I think that would have been the best thing that he could have done.
Yeah, but I gotta say, in the first part of it, I thought Joe was a good guy, but what I could basically say about this documentary and this show / documentary is, give it a chance, give it a watch. It is very interesting. There's a lot of controversy in this, and I tell you what, I do not like the woman that is going after Joe. Like, she, in my opinion, she is a witch. Like, huh?
I said, huh?
Yeah, she is a barracuda. Like, this woman is vicious. I'm just gonna say one thing is, she actually is very vicious towards her family. Very vicious. Her husband, the father's family, like, very vicious. Like, telling her at one point to shut up, or she was going to destroy them. That's one thing I'll just say about that.
Right.
Huh?
I said, my.
Yes, my. Oh, my.
Well, I have been stuck on, thanks to you, because you're the one that told me about it. I hadn't even noticed it. But I've been stuck on Schitt's Creek like crazy.
God, yes. Schitt's Creek. Oh, my gosh. What's the name of the actor that is the main star of that?
Well, the dad is Eugene Levy.
Eugene Levy, yes, from American Pie.
And he and his son created the show. And this is not the first time that he has co-starred with Catherine O'Hara. And I love her. I just love her. And I love her character. I love Moira Rose's character. She's just a hoot. And oh my gosh, does she use some words. Her vocabulary is so just extensive and sophisticated. She uses words that I have never heard in my life. And I've looked up like 3 words that she has said. And that was just because I gave up eventually. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, she uses so many words I've never heard.
You know
I would
who
love to know that many words.
Do you know who behind? You know who that is actually that plays Maura Royals? You know what movie she's been in?
Well, she was with Eugene Levy in a movie that I can't, for some reason, I can't remember it right this second. And I'll look it up. But
She was also
she
in Home
was-
Alone. She was the
she
mom.
was the mom of Home Alone. She was the Lydia Dietz's mom, the artist from Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And then she was in a comedy, and it was something about, it was like the dog show. It was something to do with the dog show. I'm going to find out what it is.
What's going on, Danny? What's in the chat?
Well, somebody wanted to ask. Jordan's asking if you knew about the Big Show coming on Netflix.
Yes, I have taken a look at that, and I would like to watch it, but it just looks so honestly hokey and very, what's the word? Just too sitcom-y. It just seems so lovey-dovey and sitcom-y. Like, I would like to see a rough side Big Show documentary, like the rough side of a professional wrestler. You know, like, honestly, they make it look so, like, sometimes sitcoms are just so ooey gooey, and I don't like ooey. I don't like ooey gooey land. Yes.
I don't want too much ooey gooey either, but I haven't heard of that.
If it's
Big
chocolate,
Show?
yeah, Big Show. Big Show has this new, I guess it's the WWE, but also Big Show just can't wrestle right now because, you know, the guy's a giant and he has been wearing himself out. So I guess now he has to do what John Cena's doing and go to Hollywood. And that means Netflix. What else do we have on the dartboard, Danny? Any other questions?
Yeah, Jordan had also asked something about have you watched Lock Key on Netflix? And then someone else had asked about Bojack Horseman. Other than that,
Yes. Love Bojack Horseman. I've seen every episode of that show.
I tried to watch it and I felt like I just got dumb for just the first part of it and I just turned it off. Of course, I was that way towards Trailer Park Boys. I was watching the movie and I had to just shut it off because I was just like, this is so stupid. And I watched the show. I put the show on and I watched and I was laughing my butt off the whole entire time. And then I realized I have actually seen this before. And some other people have told me about Trailer Park Boys. And, you know, many other people have told me about Trailer Park Boys. And I'm kind of like, rubbed it off my shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Rub it off the old shoulders.
Indeed. I haven't watched a whole lot of Trailer Park Boys. And I like the animated shows a lot. I absolutely adore F is for Family. But I'm a huge Bill Burr fan. So I love Frank. Love that character.
I will pick you up and I will put you through that wall.
I have not heard of Lock Key. So now I might have to check that out.
Yeah, I've never heard of that either. I wasn't sure what that was about.
Yeah, it's I've been seeing teasers about it on Netflix. I'm like, I just sometimes didn't want to. I had recently invested my time in to watch every single episode of The Office, and I am very satisfied that I watched every single episode of The Office because it reminds me of how you can create an awesome show and you don't need a laugh track. You don't need this gooey-gooiness. You need that hardcore, cringy, funny, Jim face. You know what I'm saying? Where Jim just makes a face and Jim's face just absolutely cracked me up. Where he just like, that frowny face when Michael would say something just so cringy,
Oh, Michael is the cringiest. He is the cringiest.
What is your favorite episode of The Office, Crystal?
I haven't watched enough Office to have a favorite episode.
Uh,
I've
Dan-
watched it in pieces.
Danny, what is your favorite episode of The Office?
You know, I'm not that big into that show. I'm really not, to be honest with you. It's funny, but I just don't really watch it, man.
What's one of your favorite sitcoms?
Do I know?
What's one of your favorite sitcoms?
That's a good question. I don't really watch them.
Were you a How I Met Your Mother fan?
Totally, 110%. No, I'm still a kid at heart. I like stuff like South Park.
I love South Park. My life would be empty without
I
Matt
have not really watched
Matt and Trey.
I've seen clips, but I haven't sat down and watched a full episode of South Park, honestly. And honestly,
The first episode of South Park aired when I was in the 6th grade, and my grandmother didn't realize that it was an adult show because it was animated, and I got away with watching that show for so long until she finally took notice and was like, "What?" Whoops, Grandma, sorry.
I gotta tell you a story. Crystal, can I share this story? An experience that I had with you one time and I thought was absolutely hilarious.
Is it that my grandmother sounded like a parrot?
So here's the story, folks. I'm sitting, I think I'm just laying on Crystal's floor. I don't know why I was laying on her floor, or I was just like sitting on her couch, and I hear, and I said, Crystal, does your grandparents
What was that?
I said, Crystal,
Was that a cat?
Is that a cat? Or
bird?
does your parents have a massive parrot? And you're like, and Crystal says to me, no, Tommy, that's my grandma yelling at my grandfather. And I'm like, so every time I see Crystal, I go,
One thing is for sure, she had a set of pipes on her.
oh, yes. I only met her a few times. I only got to meet her a few times. May she rest in peace. And I met your grandfather. He was a very nice gentleman. Very nice Southern gentleman. As I
A nice Southern gentleman. Very quintessentially Southern. Every day, he's just building stuff. He built birdhouses. He built a water wheel. Built train sets. Built rocking horses and wagons. And he and my uncle built a whole car. It was a Mustang, actually.
What do you expect? Back in the 50s, they had nothing better to do. Like, they either were going to work or they were at home in the garage working on something. That, in the 50s, we were actually the most constructive. But in today, we kind of like, we're here creating stuff here in social media, like we're
more or less.
We're not building things.
I would like to create more with my hands. Yeah, my grandfather made like creating look just like natural. Like he was not an idle hands kind of person. And I saw a post on a meme site that I like from Anna Kendrick, actually. It said, well, I guess I got to stop lying to myself about all that stuff I would do if I had more time. And I laughed because I was like, oh my God, that's so true. Like, I have skills and I can be pretty artsy and I have talent and I do zilch with it. Even with all the time in my hands,
I have skills. I am important. No one tell me I'm
important.
I'm important. I can do it. I can fly. No, you cannot fly. I can believe I can fly.
I could sit down and draw something or paint a painting, and I don't. I don't know why. I just don't. I did start a project recently, though. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I'm totally sorry. I was just going to throw in there. My entire family is so artistic. My mom, my dad, and all three of my sisters, but I cannot draw a stick figure right. They can paint, draw, I don't care, mold, sculpt, you name it. Like, they're good. I can't do nothing when it comes to art. I'm horrible.
To answer your question, sir, my favorite Disney movie, it's a really toss-up, but I think Isn't The Brave Little Toaster a Disney movie?
I think so.
I don't know if it's Disney, but I know that movie was badass. I loved The Brave Little Toaster.
Oh my gosh,
Me
yes.
too.
I
Have
think-
you watched it recently by any chance?
I watched it about a year ago, actually. Yes.
I watched it with my daughter a few months back, and it's like it was kind of, for lack of a better word, trippy. Like as an adult, it was like, whoa, this is a lot more like abstract and strange than I remember. You remember that scene where
It's just
the
like rewatching
flower-
Alice in Wonderland. That's totally different now from being a little kid. That's by far my favorite Disney movie. But watching that
That's a good
now,
one.
come on, man. Like, that's tripped out.
It totally is.
You know, one of
And
my
it's like an acid trip. It literally is like an
Exactly.
acid trip.
one of the scenes I find insane is when the toaster's having the dream, and the clown pops up with the water hose, and he looks down at him, and shout out to Colossal is crazy, because then he looks down with that massive grin, and all he says is, with his big teeth, he says, "Run." And when I was a kid,
Yeah.
I never knew what he was saying. I was like, what the heck is he saying? You know, like I was always confused what he was saying, but then I realized when I was older, I was watching it again, he was saying, "Run." You know, like cuz he's
The
about
scene in that movie that really gets me is and it's super random. It happens out of nowhere and then it ends just as quickly. Is when the little toaster finds that flower. It's like a little daffodil, and it sees its reflection, and it like falls in love, thinking it's like another flower because it's there all alone and lonely.
Yeah.
And then the toaster runs away, and he sees the flower die because he's so sad. And then after that, he's like super nice to Blanky, and that was like what changed him. And I was like, wow, that's kind of a poignant point to make. You know, in this little kid's movie.
You know, sorry, my headphones came unplugged, but you know, I have to say, for a young boy like that, I wonder if that was a happy blanket or a sad blanket.
He was the positive one, but he was a little
Oh my
clean.
God, Tommy.
Come on, you know, what kid, you know, that poor
I
blanket.
wonder what the blanket's face was all about. Like, what was that? Like a bar of soap or something stuffed to the blanket? Like,
It
why
took
did
me
it have
forever to figure out what was with the blanket. It's an electric blanket. It was a
that?
nozzle
Oh.
to control the heat on the blanket. It took me forever to figure that out.
One of the
Yeah, it used to bother the hell out of me. I'm like, why is there that block on the blanket? Like, why couldn't they just draw a face on the blanket? What's with the like bar of soap stuck to it? It reminded me of it.
I say one of the most insane scenes for me, and the voice actor that voiced the what is it? The trying to think of what it is. It's heating duct. The heating duct. The air conditioner.
Oh yeah,
And
the air conditioner.
Tom
That
Arnold.
scene scared me.
Yeah, Tom Arnold voiced the air conditioner, and he's like, "I can't help it. I'm stuck in this wall. I can't help it that the kid couldn't reach my knobs. It's my function!" And it's just like,
Good Lord.
he explodes, and he's just like, now he's dead. And
That scene scared me when I was a kid. That he got so mad and he starts sparking and getting all red, and then he dies. I didn't like that scene. Oh, I didn't like that one.
my favorite character was Radio, because he didn't really talk. He talked in radio stuff. So like, one of my favorite scenes is when he's trying to inspire everybody to clean the house up, even though no one's coming back to the house, and they're waiting for the master to come back. And he just like, a bop bop a doo bop. I got a dame named Daisy. Oh no, it drives me crazy. I got a dime named Daisy. Almost.
You know, the most unrealistic part of that movie is that guy would have tried that hard to get his old stuff from the junkyard that he almost dies.
Yeah, the part
Just
where
that,
he's,
like, it would never happen. I mean, it's just a kids movie, but you know, no college kid is gonna do that?
Yeah, who's going to want to get some old garbage from his old house? And how did his stuff get there anyway? You know, like, they're traveling around. I'm like, yeah, appliances don't do that exactly. The only time appliances...
Well, no, appliances don't live at all.
No.
They don't talk or move. But we know how they ended up there because that's what the story is about. But then when he sees them there, and then he gathers them up, and that makes sense. But then when the big metal thing comes to suck him up, he won't let go. And he almost gets crushed by the garbage, the crusher. Just to get his old junk. It's not junk, but like, I don't care what it is. It could have been my brand new flat screen. I'm not going to risk my life for it.
I think one of the most kind of interesting scenes is when you're in the junkyard, all the cars are sitting there, and they're singing the song of what they used to be. And one car says, I took somebody to a wedding. And they're explaining every situation as they're meeting their end. This is...
Yeah, I didn't like that scene either. I don't like that scene either.
It's terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying, and it shows you the destination of things, like just meeting their end and being crushed.
And it's very much that's kind of like the human story, right? Like, we all have the story of all the stuff that we've done and where we've been and what we know, just to eventually just die. I think that's kind of like the little bit of that message there. Some of those old, like, 90s, like the cartoon, the movies and the shows, they often had like a deeper meaning when you watch them as adults.
And as I think about it, that's non-Disney, like Animaniacs, Tiny Toons, they have a lot of darker and very edgy content. My favorite YouTuber, your favorite YouTuber too, Crystal, the Nostalgia Critic, he did an interview, which I don't know how he got these interviews. He was like, that blows my mind that he got those interviews.
He got Don Bluth on a show once, which was an animator for so many movies.
He got Don Bluth with him for a whole entire review, I think. He did a whole entire interview with Don Bluth one time, and he was torturing him because the Nostalgia Critic criticized Dragon's Lair, and so he made him play Dragon's Lair. And I've never personally played Dragon's Lair, but it looks hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, evidently it was pretty hard. I never played it either.
He said the funniest part about it was seeing how many times that the character would get killed. Like how many times would he get blown up or stabbed or set on fire? Like that was.
Yeah, I watched that episode. But not to change. I want to change the subject pretty abruptly. So, Dani, you do MMA? Oh, did we lose Dani?
Dani?
No, I'm here. Sorry, I was just trying to quick click back to get it off mute.
Danny is picking his nose.
Yeah, I do, and it sucks right now. That's a touchy subject because quarantine. I'm dying over here. No gyms are open.
I know, right? It kills me.
Nothing. No competing. Blah blah blah. Yeah, everything's closed.
Oh.
So imagine.
Like, I just have some questions because I love going to the gym, and there for a while I really wanted to be like just so strong. I didn't care about being thin. I wanted to bench 200 pounds. Like, I wanted to be a monster. And so, like, how much, like, did you, when you went to the gym, did you do like the benching and the deadlifts and all that kind of stuff?
No, absolutely. Yeah, I started at a young age. When I was in junior high, when I was able to get into sports, athletics, like not regular PE, whatever you call it. It started from there, and then for a long time I lifted weights. I went through phases where I wanted to get huge, or that I just wanted to get ripped, or just stay in shape, and then I want to get back to getting huge again, and just up and down. And I kind of found my median when I jumped into a MMA gym because I was always a fighter. So with that, that became my bread and butter, and just off and on lift weights because you got to be careful, like staying in your weight class. I bulk up real easy and real fast. I put on muscle easy. I'm blessed like that. So I have to be careful, like if I want to compete or anything like that. And for a while there, when I couldn't do all that stuff, squats and bench and all that, because I just get throws me in heavyweight class where I do not belong with people that are like 6'4" and got 80-inch reach arms. I'm not built for that. I'm 6'1", and I still walk around big, but I'm not built. Like we're talking about guys that are big guys.
I've seen pictures of them. I haven't really seen them in person, but I have seen these massive, they're like trees. They're huge men that make like Dwayne The Rock Johnson look small.
Itty bitty
And they're
living
just
space.
huge.
Right.
Like the Mountain, the guy that played the Mountain. He did a fight. Did you see it it was on YouTube. My brother showed it to me. It wasn't even a fight. It was just for fun. But he was in a ring with McGregor. And it was hilarious. He made McGregor look like a child. And
I know what you're talking about. I have seen that. Where they do the little sparring thing.
Yes. Yep.
I think it's
and
funny.
McGregor's actually kind of kicking him around a little bit.
I think it's funny. McGregor. One thing I think is interesting about him is he has that walk which he stole from Vince McMahon, and the way he talks, he has that little voice, and
Yeah, he's a bit of a shyster.
a shyster.
So how many grams of protein do you eat every day to maintain?
Depends on what you're doing, I guess. If you're trying to just watch your macros, or if you're trying to eat as much grams of protein as you can to bulk up. Like, I think, actually, honestly, I don't like the science behind it. I hate looking stuff up. I'd rather work out with people that know what the hell they're doing, and I just go off of them. Because when it comes to nutrition, I have no interest in to learn all that,
Danny,
nonsense with it. But if I'm not mistaken, I think you eat a gram for every pound that you weigh. So
that's what I understand too. And when I was
like
now, it did
230 grams for me a day.
Danny, how about this? Eating 10 Big Macs.
Yeah, what's up,
in
Tommy?
one day. How about this? Eating 10 Big Macs in one day. Is that good?
That doesn't sound too good.
I'm pretty sure it's not good for the heart.
I don't think so.
Okay, I think Whoppers are better. I think, honestly, Burger King is better. In my opinion. I love Burger King's French fries. I can't eat them right now because of my diet, but I love me.
Yeah, French fries are not a good. I love French fries, but they are definitely a fat food, and that's a fat food too. Any sugar is definitely the thing to stay away from, and like too much carbs, obviously.
Carbs are actually good. Carbs is what gives you fuel to work out, so carbs are good. But if you're sedentary and you're just eating nothing but carbs and doing nothing, then yeah, it can backfire on you. Actually, if you don't have enough carbs in your system, that's what makes you lethargic. That's what makes you tired. You don't want to do stuff during the day. You really don't have the energy. You need carbs. It's essential. But
yeah, you're totally right.
I mean, like me, like I love my favorite 3 things I could eat every day, all day for the rest of my life is mashed potatoes, bread, and cheese. Those 3 things every day.
Cheese is just
absolutely.
And
yeah, you don't. Yeah,
if I didn't do anything and I only ate those things, my God, I would be morbidly obese. Because that's just straight up carbs right there,
You'd be like Peter off the Family Guy. I'm fat, soft and gummy, lovey.
Exactly.
I could eat smothered mashed potatoes absolutely every day. No, that's for sure.
Smothered and covered. You know what I'm saying?
Jordan seems to agree with you, Tommy, about Burger King. I don't know what y'all are on about that. Crystal, what do you think about Burger King? I hate it.
I have never been a big Burger King fan. Nope.
I can't.
I would eat at Wendy's
Tommy, we were
before I would
talking
eat at
earlier
Burger
about
King.
that. The Whopper, the thing. It's disgusting. I hate it.
I'm not a big fan of fast food in general. Not because it's not like McDonald's tastes bad. It's just that I know that it's so bad for me that I'm like, well, I just don't want to put it in my mouth. Like, I love a loaded burger. It's a loaded cheeseburger with everything you can imagine on it is one of my favorite things in the world. I would rather make it myself or go to like a place that I know makes it well.
Like an actual restaurant, not fast food.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
thing I will never eat. I will never, ever, 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 ever eat that green burger that they sell at Burger King. Hell no.
Well, apparently it's not that good for you. It's got some sort of it's got some weird additive that's carcinogenic. I don't know if it's a preservative or what it is, but that's I got into nutrition not when I graduated high school. I was pushing 200 pounds, and I'm only 5'5", so I was getting pretty chunky. And so I joined a gym and I started looking at what I was eating. And so that's where it started. And then I dropped 60 pounds. But then after that, it became a lot more about like harmful preservatives and cancer causing additives more than like fat. Who cares about fat? I didn't even count carbs. I just wanted to steer away from what I knew was bad for my body. And it worked. You know, I didn't eat until I was stuffed anymore. That was another big one to like, because that's what I would do. I would just eat until I was so full, like at a buffet, like I'm unbuttoning my pants literally after I eat because I'm gorged myself. And so I found a way, luckily, to stop doing that. So I've maintained a weight between like 135 and 140 except for when I was pregnant for the last like 12 years or so. But I found that it was so difficult to consume when I was trying to build muscle, which was a little harder for me than I thought it would be. I was doing the gram per pound thing, and I had to focus on eating so much. Like I had to focus on what I was eating so much every day to get 135 grams of protein in my body that it was so not fun. It was such a drag to be like counting my grams of protein and making sure I didn't go over 25 grams of sugar.
Exactly. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, I can't stand the whole science behind the nutrition part and, like calculating everything and depending on what you're doing. And if something changes in your workout regimen, then you change the way you're eating, this, that. I can't. No, dude. No. I'm going to just eat and work out.
What do you guys think?
And that's cool. Like if you can, hold on. If you can do that, that's awesome. And I think like, I don't want to say men are better at that. It's just that a lot of times with men, the muscle gaining is easier, and it's for some men it's easier than others. But then for me, I mean, I'm built like my dad, so I'm not stocky, but I'm stronger in general than women my size, as I've learned throughout the years.
Well, Crystal.
And so I thought like, oh, I'm just going to continue my eating habits and I'm just going to go work out and all this stuff's just going to happen for me. Well, I have really strong thigh muscles, which is common for women. But I realized that I think I have unresponsive bicep. Are you familiar with this problem, this unresponsive bicep thing?
Yeah, that's common in women as well.
I mean, I focus so much on my biceps, and my forearms are as big as my bicep. Like my forearms are stronger than my bicep. My biceps won't do nothing. And when I consumed a lot of protein, it was better. And if I don't consume a lot of protein, it's just ridiculous. They just won't do nothing. It's so frustrating. Like I wanted to bench. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this and I'm going to keep going. I'm going to bench like, I don't know. I just had this crazy number in my head, like 200. Like if I get even like 180, oh my gosh, it'll be so crazy. And I'm like at 80 on a good day. And it hurts my feelings. But I can leg press 300.
That's good. Yeah, I can believe it. You got to understand too, though. Yeah, physically, women, it's harder for y'all to put on mass as opposed to, males. But when we move around every day, all day, normally, what are you doing? You're walking around, bending, stooping, lifting, all that kind of stuff. You use your lower body more than your upper body. So you have to compensate whenever you work out. you walk around every day. So your legs are going to be strong already. You just got to get that muscle memory and going whenever you start pushing weight. As for upper body, you're really going to have to work it. How often are you doing something during the day that you're really using your biceps throughout your day? If you think about it, really not that much, especially for a female.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you're any different than guys, but I mean, think about it. So you have to put the work in. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not happening.
And I saw a tremendous difference when I did consume a lot of protein. And when I would take protein shakes and like drink one right after the workout, or within like 20 minutes after my workout. And I would notice a real difference. You
should do it before.
Well,
I mean, your muscle does burn up protein. It feeds on it, if I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm not saying something stupid. But from what I do know, it's good to drink it before.
Well, and I heard somebody said to me that a little bit of carbs before a workout actually helps you burn fat. Like you were saying earlier, like it kind of gives your body this thing to burn. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And hold on. I think somebody behind me thinks I'm having trouble. Hi. Are you here for me? I said earlier that I had to drive down the road from my house to get a signal, and I'm parked on the side of the road, and I think this truck thinks that I'm in trouble. Hopefully not. Okay, anyway. But so the carbs for energy before you work out. And then a friend of my brother's who was really he was like a CrossFitter. So he was super into it. He said, oh, well, get this protein, this particular kind of protein shake, and do it right after your hard workout. And then the protein, your muscles this is not a scientific explanation, obviously, but that your muscles are just going to absorb that protein because it's fast absorption, because it's in liquid form. And so that's what I was told. And it seemed to work. I don't know. I don't know.
Steroids, Crystal. Just use steroids.
No, do not use
I
steroids.
thought about it. I'm not even kidding, Danny.
Do not think about that. What do you want, your heart to explode?
Oh.
Okay, I got some for you guys. What do you think about this? Guys, what do you think about this? New from Burger King. It's the Viagra burger. It will make you feel good, and also when you're at the table, it'll make you do this. Whoa! Hello, honey. Get yourself the Viagra, and now coming for females,
the Viagra burger. Oh my god!
What is it?
Oh my god!
The what would be for the females? It would be the what is it? The
oh Jesus!
I don't know. You just have to put a lot of money in it, I guess.
It makes it'll fill you up, and the burger will make you horny.
Yeah, that was a joke. If you want to get a woman going, you just got to put a whole bunch of 20s in the burger. That's what it takes.
Oh
right?
my
God! I believe that. Just slide some cash across the table with that burger to her.
I know, right? That's terrible.
The money burger.
Speaking of, on a serious note, health and all that, though, Tommy, I don't, sorry to the person that said it, I don't feel like scrolling all the way back through, but someone had asked earlier about your fitness endeavor. You're the man with the plan there on that. So like when me and Crystal were talking about the proteins and all that stuff or whatever, the diet, your nutrition has definitely changed. You always do your tweet before you eat, which I'm happy that you do. I see that you're eating healthy. It's great. You're eating good things. Mm-hmm. How do you feel whenever you do your workouts since you've been on this fitness stuff with that nutrition change? Can you tell the difference?
I could definitely tell a difference. My body is changing a little bit, but which every day right now I'm kind of hit a wall because of this whole Corona thing. But I have been working out as much as I can, walking up and down my stairs, trying to do flutter kicks, and staying healthy and eating chicken, eating steak, eating ham, bacon, eggs.
Lots of protein there.
Lots and lots of
tons.
and
Make
just,
sure you're also eating veggies too, because those are also important.
Oh, Crystal, it's 8 o'clock. What do you want to keep going, or do you want me to, what do you want to do here?
Oh, I don't mind. It's really up to you guys. I'm fine. Fine either way.
All right. I figured that we should probably end it off here, and because I know that I don't want to keep you on the side of the road, and
Oh, I'm 2 minutes from my house. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. I really don't care.
okay. Trying to think what else. What is interesting.
Well, I wanted to ask you though for the follow up there. What Dani said. Do you feel better? Because I know you said you went from you were like 330 and down to like 280 now.
Yeah,
I mean,
I haven't weighed myself recently since the corona outbreak. I don't know what my weight is right now because I haven't.
Well, I know you were 280 something. You told me. You sit on the scale and told me. So that's a pretty significant amount of weight, and I can see it on you. I
Totally
can
see
your
it too.
face.
Yeah, your pictures and everything are it's a change. It's definitely a transformation. I'm really proud of him for that.
Yes, and
Absolutely.
when I definitely get back in the gym, I'm definitely gonna be pushing myself to be losing more weight, and I'm been slowly working on it, and just trying to get through the day, just trying to do what I can, and it's so tempting in a world of, it's so. Oh, my foot is asleep. Ow, my foot is asleep. Oh, I hate when that happens. It's like there's like bugs in your feet. Ow.
Well, do you feel like you can tell some differences in how you feel day to day?
Yeah, I'm not really breathing when I'm having a conversation. If you notice a lot of my videos, you'll notice I had to take a breath every time I talk. Back in the day, now I feel like I don't have to do that anymore now.
And you know what I noticed that you did, and I'm sure you've noticed as well, at the beginning of this, Tommy, you were sort of like, you were getting up and going to the gym in the morning because your coach was like, hey, let's get up and go to the gym. And you were just doing it basically because you were, this was just the regimen that was laid out for you. And you're like, all right, fine. But then it got to the point where you were like, oh, I don't work out on the weekends. I take my break on the weekends. But then you went to the gym by yourself on Saturdays.
Yeah,
I noticed.
You have a habit. I told him that at the beginning too it was going to happen because he was having a hard time in the beginning. I don't mean. I'm sorry, Tommy, for kind of cutting you off there, but we had this talk a couple months back because it was tough. It's tough getting up early in the morning like that and someone on you like, come on, let's go, let's do this. And I told him every day he was closer to it becoming easier, and it's just going to become a habit, a form of a habit, and you're going to want to do it on your own. Now he's all into it, Now he's doing it on his own. He's at home and he's walking stairs and still doing stuff like that's awesome.
I still catch myself.
That is awesome.
I still catch myself out of breath, but my stairs where I live are just so steep, and they are like.
Tommy, I'm gonna be out of breath doing stairs, bro. It's not easy.
No, it's not.
One,
Crystal could tell you she's walked my stairs. Like those are steep and narrow.
Yeah, they are steep and narrow. You do that even 3 times. I would be out of breath, and
I've done
I'm
it.
used to
I've actually for an exercise I've done it 10 times at least now.
Nice.
20 times.
Very.
One time with Hams, we did 20 laps up the stairs, and like, oh my gosh, I was sweating like a pig, honestly.
Well, that's awesome. You're gonna have them nice tight glutes, yeah.
Crystal, I like your glutes too. They're very tight.
Oh well, thank you, Tommy. I do the best I can.
Honestly, Crystal, I think that I think you're, as that gentleman once said at that Chinese food restaurant, you're everything a woman should be.
Yeah. That is so funny. I think we all have to. We're forced. We have eyes and we're not psychic. to judge one another based on appearances. But I do think that comment was strange. Like, oh, you're everything a woman should be. I could be absolutely insane for all that guy knew. Like, I could have 10 different psychological disorders and 5 kids with 3 different guys. He has no idea. It's just, like, I don't know. I might notice the man. Like, I notice, oh, wow, he looks good. But I don't think, oh, he's everything a man should be. Like, no, he just looks good.
Crystal,
that's how you know that it was creepy whenever he said it, because he damn sure wasn't thinking about if you had mental disorders.
Well, I definitely...
I know, right? Like, yeah.
I definitely, when I was sitting at the restaurant, I definitely looked over and I saw him approach Crystal, and I wasn't jealous. I was just, like, watching him closely and kind of, like, staring him down. Because I'm very protective over my friends, and, like, I don't like people,
Yeah, I'm the same way, brother. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, you never know. I've had some pretty scary run-ins with some fellas in my time.
What's your guy, Crystal? What kind of guy are you into? Would you say that honestly gets Crystal's engine going? Like, what's a guy if he was to walk in front of you, you're just like, oh, excuse me for a second, Mom.
I think it's a lot more about what a guy isn't than what he is. I feel like way about people in general. Like, if I'm going to be, friends with a woman. Because, before I'm romantic with a guy, I would like to be friends first, or at least know that I would be compatible as friends. And so there's a whole lot of things that I don't care about. I hear these, like, complaints that women have sometimes, and I don't identify with those specifically. Like, there's just things, I don't know, that I don't do as a woman, and I don't mind that he does as a man, quote unquote, if we're going to, dumb it down, I guess. But there's things that I don't want people to do, like specific things. Like, as long as you don't do those things, let's see where it goes. Like,
well, here's a question for you: does size matter to you?
Well, I notice oh, you mean like that size? No, I'm not going to get into that. I thought you were talking about weight.
I got dead quiet on that, man.
I honestly, that's how much I don't think about that.
What are you talking about, Danny?
I'm not saying nothing.
Tommy, you did that. Don't try to drag Danny into it. I think about that so little that I thought you were talking about weight. That's what I was thinking about. Because that is not ever been an issue for me personally in my life. Never encountered that particular issue. Yeah. So I don't know.
It doesn't matter the size. It just matters how psychotic the guy is, or if he's mentally insane.
I think very few. I mean, there are some very unfortunate gentlemen out there, I guess, that
I guess I could say I carry a big stick.
I don't know them. Well, I know that you said that. Huh? Yeah, well, Tommy only said that so that he could then compliment his own size. But since nobody else has ever seen it besides him, we won't know, now would we? That was a little burn for you, Tommy. A little burn for you.
Oh, yeah, Crystal.
Just for you.
Let me tell you something, Crystal. Your jaw would hit the floor if you saw me.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it would.
The confidence in this gentleman over here.
I'd be like a sexist. Of course, I'll tell you honestly, a truth of thing about me. I hate looking at myself naked. I really. I cannot find myself being naked in front of people. I think the first time I ever get with a woman or something like that, it's going to be so hard for me to be naked in front of a woman, to be honest with you. But, I presently...
I forget what I look like because I don't have, like, these full-body mirrors in my house. But on the rare occasion I take showers at my mom's, she has this giant mirror on the wall. I catch myself and I'm like, whoa, that's me.
I literally don't even pay attention. I don't even think about it. I think the only time I really am paying attention to myself in the mirror is when I'm shaving my face. Like making sure I got every single whisker off that damn thing. I don't pay attention. But I don't care either way. I'm confident. if we could walk around butt ass naked, I would.
Yeah, I actually think that there's this incredible fear or I don't know, of nudity in this country, which is so strange considering how often companies use sex to sell products, but then actual like skin showing seems to offend people so much. And I wouldn't care either. Like everybody could walk around naked and I wouldn't care. I just wouldn't care.
As the saying goes, sex sells. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but the thing is, male sex does not sell that well. People don't look at the male body unless you're actually a woman looking at a male body. But a woman... Well,
no, actually, most men, if they are in porn, gay men watch that because men. It was so funny. Years ago, there was a study. This is true. That I want to say it was Harvard did the study, or Berkeley. It was one of those big, like, Upper East Coast colleges. Did a study on people and if they watch porn and how much porn they watched and if they'd ever watched porn and whatever. And they questioned, like, so many men in any demographic that they could find. And they could not find one man who did not watch porn. They could not find one. Not one.
I don't.
But there were women who hadn't watched porn. So it's definitely a guy thing. So, like, I have a fellow acquaintance who wanted to get into, like, trying to make money on Pornhub. And it was really funny because he's straight. And he's like, so... I think that I'm going to be, if I get anywhere with this, it's going to be with gay dudes. And I'm like, yeah, I think so. I think more gay men are going to be watching you than straight women. Wow. Which is a really funny thing to say. It's just kind of funny.
Jeez. I mean, one of my favorite models and she's an Instagram model, and I'm head over heels for her. When I'm not head over heels for you or somebody else, I think is Trisha Paytas. Honestly, oh my gosh, Trisha Paytas. Like, yeah,
I don't know. I don't have no idea why I've seen pictures of her and I don't get it at all.
Look this person up right now. I don't know these IG models.
Well, look this woman up and then get back to Tommy later and tell him that he's crazy, because I can think of so many women off the top of my head who are absolutely gorgeous.
This is totally Tommy's type, though. I can see it already. She just popped up. I can see why he likes her. Not my thing.
She has a butt that can go all the way. You know what I'm saying? As I say.
Well, do you not know who Scarlett Johansson is?
Yeah, I know who Scarlett Johansson is. She's an actress, isn't she?
I think she's the bomb. I'm straight, but if I were gonna say, like, the most beautiful woman who could possibly, convince me, it's her. She's got it going on.
Oh, jeez.
She got it going on.
Oh, boy. Well, on this subject, I think we're going to end the show here. But I want to say, folks, thank you so much for tuning in to another epic episode of the Tommy and Krystal podcast. And we will catch you on not this one.
And thanks, Dani, for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Both of you.
Dani.
Thank you very much.
It means so much that you are here. We really appreciate you reading the chat. And thank you, Dani. Keep on laying down the pain, as they say, Dani. And
keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. And we're doing this because we're bored, honestly.
We were already doing it because we had nothing better to do. Now we really have nothing better to do.
I know, right? Man, people probably in the chat right now are probably getting depressed because you're talking about ending it. Quarantine lifestyle, man.
Yes. But as always, a good one. I'm Tommy and C2010. This is the Tommy and Krystal podcast, and I'm keeping you on the inside fact. Subscribe, support, stay positive.